Imagine you're extremely drunk and very hungry. Actually, before we get into the hypotheticals, I want to talk about this, before the internet gets a hold of it, because this entire story, this entire situation has the makings of like one of those man versus bear situations. Like, you remember when they were asking women if you were stranded on an island, would you rather be stuck with a man or a bear? And some women said bear, and some men were like, we need to burn this entire thing to the ground. Okay. The society's over. Okay. There is no order because of the way some women answered the man versus bear question. I feel like this is going that way based on how divisive it is. Next month, it's going to be political, just so you know. And that's going to ruin everything. Okay. Let me explain. DoorDash, in case you don't know, is a food delivery service. It's like Uber, where you're assigned a random person, and instead of picking you up and dropping you off, they will pick up your food and drop it off to you. And it's pretty lazy, and it's also quite a bit more expensive than just picking the food up yourself. But sometimes, you get like 45 minutes into an edible, and you're like, I'm really hungry, and there's nothing in the house. And I'm a responsible edible taker, so I'm not about to drive somewhere. That's unsafe, fellas. So you order some DoorDash and you pay more than you'd pay and you tip very well. I'm not one of those like he drove 30 miles, I tipped him $1 type dudes. I'm tipping very well, okay? I say this because DoorDash in and of itself, like there's so many crazy stories I've heard about DoorDashers being insane and DoorDash customers being insane. Like it's such an like it amazes me that I've never come across somebody who's a psycho whenever I've ordered food, but it is what it is. But I also apply that same kind of thought process to the dashers because they're probably showing up in some real sketchy places, right? Let's explain. So imagine you're a guy who is assuming, like, I'm assuming the guy's very drunk based on things he does later on in the story. It's not really a long story. He decides he wants DoorDash. He's at home. He's drunk. He wants some DoorDash. So he could have done this before this point, but he also could have done it after ordering the DoorDash. But at some point, he gets butt ass naked. Uh, just I don't know if like maybe he ordered the DoorDash and thought, I'm gonna take a quick little shower, but he was drunk, so he didn't do that. What he actually did was he passed out on his couch. And then there's a third little thing to the story that makes things a little complicated. He left his front door open. A whoops. That's like the one thing of the three things that he did there. Ordered DoorDash, got butt ass naked. I guess fell asleep is also a thing, and then uh left his door wide open. The door wide open is like the one thing that on its own is bad. I feel like you can combine two of each thing. Like you could say he ordered DoorDash and got butt ass naked. Oh, that's stupid. Why wouldn't you wait until after you pick up the food? You're gonna have to get the food from outside, or grab it from the person, and then you get butt ass naked. Or maybe you get butt ass naked and you leave your front door open. Two psycho things to do. You can't combine the two things. The leaving the door open though is just crazy in and of itself, okay? Because I'm not going to judge you for what you do in your own home. Maybe you get drunk, you get naked, you order DoorDash, and you just forget to grab it. You just leave it out on the doorstep. But anyways, a DoorDasher had to deliver this food, so she shows up, and unfortunately, his door's cracked. She sees him all asleep and hanging out. Now, anyone in that moment is probably like, like, even me as a guy, like, I know that even if he was awake, I'm probably not what he was hoping for at the door. So he's probably like, "Oh, I'm just going to pretend to be asleep." You know what I'm saying? But even me, who isn't really necessarily under any type of threat, I guess, would be like, "Oh, come on, man." Like, I'm contacting DoorDash for sure. You're letting them know, like, hey, I left it on the front porch. I didn't hand it off to the customer on account of them being butt ass naked. I could see them. You guys should do something about this. And then I would assume at that point, DoorDash would do what they eventually ended up doing to this guy, banning him from using their service. Which like that's the answer. That's the obvious answer. That's like one of those. Oh, but I don't get another strike. No, nah, man. It's like the thing you can't do. Sorry, man. It's like the real You can't. You just can't be jerking it in there. But here's the thing. Here's what makes this story so complicated. She recorded him while he was asleep and naked and posted it online. Some of you are like, why is that complicated? He was in his own house. And here's the thing. It takes me back to back when Twitter was called Twitter, there was this kid who thought it would be funny. There was this woman on Twitter who would always post the unsolicited DMs that she would get on Twitter. Like, look at this shrimp dick dumbass and blah, blah, blah. This kid thought, because this is like a 15, 16-year-old kid, he's underage. He's like, wouldn't it be funny if I sent her a pic of mine and then she posted it? And then I was like, haha, you're going to jail. I don't think he really thought it. I don't know if he knows that he would also get in trouble in this situation, but I'm not entirely sure how they would handle it with her. I'm sure, like, what are the rules on this type of thing? Can you post? I guess you could. I don't know. But if I'm the woman in this situation that's pulling up to that house, I'm immediately like, no, 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 no. And I'm not even taking a picture. I'm immediately leaving, and I'm just like, hey, the DoorDash, cut, yeah, whoever I need to talk to as an employee, yeah, this guy's butt ass naked in there. I had to see dick on my shift. I never want to do that again. I've only been working for 45 minutes so far this night, and it feels like I just worked a 16-hour shift just looking at that guy's dick. I'm tired. But like this posting it online thing, it's just, it never feels like a good idea. I remember this was like a long time ago. I wish I could remember like all the details. There was this dude that was catfishing a girl, and then eventually she got a boyfriend, like a real life boyfriend, and was like, oh, I'm not interested in my little online boyfriend, right? But the online boyfriend kept sending pictures. And mind you, he's catfishing, pretending to be another person. So she starts posting the pictures, and then it all gets mixed up because apparently the dude that he was using to catfish, like the pictures that the catfish was using of the other guy, that guy had no clue those pictures were anywhere online. It was like just such a weird situation altogether. But yeah, I don't know. Posting people, like I am of the impression that it's usually best to report it. But I won't deny that it's a real mood ruiner. It's a real mood ruiner. And it's gonna get rough this next month as the real serious people get to talking about it and make it real fun.